Gloria, and as a realtor, I know that getting rid of the clutter in your home is one of the best ways to help sell your house quickly. At Jessup Premium Storage, our family-owned company provides a convenient and secure building for all of your storage needs. We now offer outdoor covered parking for that antique car, boat, or RV. Due to our recent expansion, we offer units that range in size from as small as a bedroom closet to as big as a one-car garage. All of our units are inside and climate controlled with 24-hour access and security. Our leases run month to month, so you're not locked into a long-term commitment, giving you the flexibility to move your belongings out the minute you purchase your new home. Stop by today or give us a call, 530-8003. That's 530-8003. Jessup Premium Storage.
The cool, clean, and secure.
When you have an accident, you, not the insurance company, chooses the body shop, and you only need one estimate. All you have to do is call Jerome Riles at B&C Collision Center in downtown Scriven to deal with the adjusters and insurance company. Whether it's a little ding or a major crash, that B&C Collision Center across from Wasden Cabinet Shop in Scriven deal with the insurance company so you don't have to. Call them at 579-2274. That's 579-2274.
Hello, friends and neighbors. At Mike Butch Ford, we're offering the best prices of the year. The Ford Friends and Neighbors Year-End Sales Event. Ford Motor Company has authorized X-Plan discounts to everyone from now to January 4th. Low interest rates for qualified buyers, huge discounts, plus special offers from Mike Butch Ford means all new Fords at the lowest prices of the year. Get over $10,000 off on select new Ford F-150s. Finance for Ford Motor Credit, get another $750 rebate. You want to save even more? Come to the House Good Service Built, and we'll give you 5 free oil changes while in 36,000-mile bumper-to-bumper warranty on any new Ford we sell. Timmy Rozier, Joey Lee, Bart Duncan, Randy Williamson, and Tracy Ross are ready to get you the best prices of the year. Stop the search. Come to Mike Butch Ford, the dealership where friends send friends and neighbors are welcome. We have a great selection of certified pre-owned Ford vehicles. This is Sammy Dixon saying thank you. Thank you very much for your business.
And good morning. You're listening to the Big Dog, WIFO-FM in Jessup, 105.5 on your FM dial. Third day of December, Thursday morning, 2 minutes after 8 o'clock. Butch Hubbard here with you on the Big Dog. Currently, we have 50 degrees here in southeast Georgia. Partly sunny today. High today near 62 degrees. The Ottawa River level's at 9.4 feet and falling. It is now time for the world-famous Butch and Bob Show, brought to you by B&C Collision Center in Scriven, by Parker Insurance and Realty on Macon Street in downtown Jessup, Mike Butch Ford in Blackshear. I'm by Jessup Premium Storage out here on the Waycross Highway. And Bob, we've got the sheriff of Wayne County, John Carter, in here with us this morning.
Yep, always an honor to have the sheriff of Wayne County in the studios with us on the world famous Butch and Bob Show. John, how you doing?
I am doing fine. It's great to be here. I always enjoy your show.
Again, as we mentioned, we've been promoting and talking about this Jessup Wayne County Criminal Investigation Task Force. It was formed in November. November 1st is when it began, and it's been awfully busy. You know, talking to those officers that are involved in this thing, they've been working nonstop. We've had a lot of press releases, so you have to be pleased with how it's going thus far.
Well, that and our Jessup Wayne County Drug Task Force, too. We combined both of those things, and we still don't have all the people in place on the drug side yet, but we're working on it.
Tell us what all they've done thus far.
Well, we've had, we began this, let me, I guess, start at the beginning. A couple of years ago, this was an idea that City Manager Mike Dill and I discussed, and we have discussed for the past year and a half. About the time we started trying to put the thing together, my new chief deputy, Doug Lewis, came along. And of course, he took the reins and ran with this thing, and we have put it together, made it happen. Since then, we've concentrated on where our biggest problems were first, in addition to trying to do some of the other drug investigations that I already had going. As you know, at that time, the city did not have anybody doing any kind of undercover drug work, so it was us doing most of that. Now, they were cooperating with us, and their uniformed people and the people that they could provide did a great job helping us. But as far as actually doing undercover stuff, it was strictly upon us, and that's not the case anymore. Now that we've combined, we're able to combine those resources, and I think it's going to make it better for both of the police department and the sheriff's office. But the main thing that we're looking at is going to make it better for our citizens in the city and the county.
One thing that was mentioned a couple weeks ago at the city meeting was a tip line, but I haven't heard any more about that. Any more thoughts about that? That there's a special line they can call and give information to?
Well, we're in our infancy right now. We're just now getting phone lines hooked up because we basically moved the investigative unit to the sheriff's office and the drug unit to the city police department. So we've had to do some technology stuff, and I'm technology challenged, so don't ask me all about this kind of stuff. But anyway, we have to get phones, computers, and that sort of thing. That is our goal, to have the tip line up and running here. We wanted to have it before now, but before the first of the year, or at least by the first of the year, we plan on having that in where we can in operation.
Last week they had the big bust over at 3rd and Walnut Street, and they cleaned that area up, but they said that the key was to get the permission of the property owners. So for years they haven't been able to get the property owners' cooperation.
Well, we had looked, and I tell you what, that operation got accelerated. We were looking at it already when this Flocka thing came up. We had, as you remember, I think from probably one of the news releases we gave you, we had about 5 or 6 ambulance calls within a 45 to minute to an hour period right there on that one corner just for that one drug. So we went to work, and I have to give hats off to the city and my chief deputy that went and took the actually it was some of our investigative unit tracked these people down, because it was, of course we got who the owners were at the tag office, but finding them was a different situation sometimes. But we got that done and we accomplished it, and that's the main thing. And we've got a lot of work to do, and we're new, and we understand. We went in this, and I think you've heard. I know I've heard Doug say it at least 25 times that this, failure is not an option, and that's the way we went into it, and trying to get everybody on board, in addition with the community, not only just the officers, but the community as well, to help us, because most of our information comes from them in the first place. But getting all our patrol officers involved, where they'll feel a part of it, and that's the main thing we wanted to do.
You just joined us, Sheriff John Carter in the studios with us, talking about the drug bust that have been taking place the last couple of days, and about this new organization. As you mentioned, it came together November 1st. How many officers involved? And, did they just explain how they pulled both departments together and how they're working together?
Well, I had my investigative unit. We just combined those. Basically, the city has agreed to give us another. They had 2, which we have there 2 now. I will have 4 as soon as I get another position filled. And as soon as they get, we call it the player to be named later, that'll be 7 investigators for the county and the city together. And the city investigators can go out in the county and vice versa. We have made some changes in the way we staff it and the way that hours we work to try to benefit the citizens more, as well as make it economically feasible for us. It cuts down on some of our overtime, some of the things we're trying to do. Now, are we going to make mistakes? Of course we are. But we're going to, we're willing, we're flexible. We're going to do what we need to do to make this thing work. Now, the drug unit, we haven't got all the people involved, but we're awfully effective already. We were doing fair just with, I had 1 drug agent and some part-time people, and that's what we were technically for the last 6 years. That's how we've conducted drug operations in our county. So we're working on that, and I think it's going. We're still going to use DEA and U.S. Marshals, whatever other resources we have. That's not going to cut down. ATF's another one we use quite frequently.
Again, you've been in the office for quite some time. What's the biggest problem you see in the drug problem with the drug? Everybody says there's a drug problem in Wayne County. For years, people say they have these annual busts where they bust a bunch of little penny drug dealers, but they're not really the problem. The problem is who's bringing it in. So how do you get the big person that brings it in?
Well, you got a good question. It depends on how much resources you got. But the analogy I use is the federal government can't stop it from coming into the country with an unlimited budget. I'm not going to be able to stop it coming in Wayne County, but I'm certainly going to do everything I can to drive them to other counties. Is basically what you're at best you can do. But we're gonna continue to work as hard as we can. But realistically, you're not gonna eradicate it completely.
Just amazing, when I go to drug court, it's just amazing to see how many people are involved in this. It's just, to see lives destroyed, and they tell the judge is, they have these different phases of the drug court where they're at, and you see the success stories sometimes where they make it through, they become productive citizens, but so many times you see people just not be able to make it and wind up going to prison for a long time. So it just seems like a continual cycle, and just a lot of people. The sad thing is when people get on it, they just don't seem to be able to get off it. That's the sad thing, and it just perpetuates all other kind of crimes, like they have to commit burglary and theft to support their drug habit. It's just an ongoing cycle. When you watch drug court, you sit there and you just shake your head and get kind of frustrated watching it take place. There's a lot of families involved, a lot of families destroyed because.
And I have seen it, and I've helped a lot of families, and then try to get. But some of these drugs are, methamphetamine, for example. I don't understand it to begin with, because I look at the ingredients in methamphetamine, and when you get a can that's got skull and crossbones on the side, why would you want to put that in your body?
Right.
I mean, what would make you, there's poison. But it's extremely addictive, and it's tough for them to get off. It's tough to get places that'll take them that you don't have to have insurance for. I mean, it's not an easy thing to get off of methamphetamine or any of the other drugs.
Explain this new drug. You mentioned that drug Flacca. Having people not familiar with it, what it is, what it looks like. But it's a very another drug that causes major problems if you take it.
It's major health problems. And of course, most of my knowledge of it is reading. Where the first time I had any knowledge of it was when it came back. I believe it was South Palm Beach, Florida, or somewhere around the Miami area. Anyway, that's when I first saw it. And we're talking about back in the '80s. We had PCP, which gave superhuman strength. This does the same thing. I think I heard it described on one of the internet things I read is ecstasy on steroids was the way they put it, and it was just a bad deal, and it is. It's not a good thing, and some of those we interviewed that the other night when that happened, where they don't remember what happened, they don't know what they did. I mean, it's unbelievable to me.
Seems like there's a lot of prescription medications out on the street as well. This bus the other day, some of these drugs, I don't even know what they are. But is it hydromorphone? Is that how you say that?
Yeah, and
hydrochloride.
Alprazolam.
Yeah, there's another. Is that they say it also known as Xanax? So
yeah, that's it. That's the generic for Xanax.
But why is there so much medication? Why do you think that's such an issue?
Well, it's easy to get. Because most, you can go in most any medicine cabinet, especially somebody that's a little older that's got a back problem or something like that, and you can find a world of painkillers, narcotics, and stuff, and they do that a lot. But you still have doctors out there that'll write these prescriptions, these pain clinics, so-called. In some cases, a lot of the pain clinics are legitimate, some aren't. But they can go get these prescriptions, and I don't understand, and we find it, why would you need 180 pill prescription?
I'm just glad that pain clinic's no longer in Jesse. I remember that showed up. That was a mess. It took a long time to get that out of there, but they finally got that out of there, and he was finally found guilty and prosecuted and now in prison. So those things seem to have popped up all over the place.
Fortunately, we had been helping Glenn County, their drug unit down there, with this same doctor that came from down there. So I was familiar with it, and as soon as they gave him a business license, I called DEA. I said, I need some help, because we had worked with them down there, and that's how that got started. Because once I knew he was going to open, it wasn't going to be good. And if you look at the evidence that we were able to get, because we had to do a lot of things to get DEA to come here. I mean, I called them, they told us what we had to have, and that's what we got. And they came and they took it from there.
And he's just joined the Sheriff John Carter in the studios with us. Besides running the department, you have to, make sure the funding is there. I know they got budget sessions underway with the county. You have to go before and present your budget, things like that. Explain that process, how that works. How is it cooperative? Is it helpful? Adversarial? How does it work? Because I'm sure there's a lot of budget issues for the sheriff's department. It's always about money. We say it all the time. It always comes down to the money.
It has been adversarial in the past, but most of the time it's cordial. You have disagreements, but you should be allowed to disagree without becoming arch enemies. But I present my budget. If they've got questions on it, and my philosophy has always been, if I can't justify it, you need to take it out of there. But if I can, we need to figure out a way to do it. But the problem I've always had with the budget process is we only budget 12 months at a time. We don't have any 5-year or 10-year plan, say for the sheriff's office, or maybe I don't know about the other departments, but I know for us, where do we want to be? Where do we want the jail to be in 5 years? What are we going to have to do? What repairs are we going to have to make? Are we going to have to add on? Those things we need to be looking at.
Speaking of the jail, how crowded is it?
Right now, it's in pretty good shape. The judges and probation officers have done an excellent job. The DA's office, public defender's office of keeping the population, down. Because last year and the year before last, it was stayed above capacity most of the time.
All right. Well, I know the DA's office made a conscientious effort, and the judges have too. There's a lot more court in Wayne County than it was in years past. They just want to try to get all these people through the process as quickly as possible. There are a lot of cases on the court calendar.
Well, the upside to that, we're in court, as you well know, state court and all the other courts that I have a statutory requirement to be at. We're there about anywhere from 25 to 26, maybe even 28 days a month. Sometimes we're having double and triple courts. The downside to that is the manpower that I have to furnish, and the overtime and the things we have to pay to get these cases and keep these courts running.
How's the new courtroom? I've been in the new courtroom many times. The security's very good. We got 3 courtrooms now, right? We've got the main courtroom by the sheriff's department, have the old courthouse, and the old courthouse, and there's a 3rd courtroom downstairs in the courthouse. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So how they all working? I know like I said, the one I go to is the main one with security. The other ones I haven't been to lately, so I just wonder how. I know they used the old courthouse one day for the jury selection. I was up there for that. So they're using all 3 courthouses, right?
Yeah. Well, we don't have what we call a jury assembly room like, say, Glenn or other counties do, where they just assemble the jury there, and then they pick panels and carry them to the courtroom. We don't have that ability, so we use what we call courtroom A, which is the old historical courtroom. Like I say, we got 2 of them to look at and 1 to use. But and it's beautiful. It is, but it's a nightmare security-wise for us.
Right.
But it's the courtroom. That courthouse is beautiful, but it's not practical from a security standpoint.
Right. That's why they built a new courtroom, because for all
we got holding cells over there. We got a lot of things that we didn't have, and then you've been in there. It's tough to get anywhere from that. I don't want you to go.
Right.
But it's we've got all the modern stuff over here. We have continued to upgrade. As you've been there, you've seen us use Skype before, and then things that we did that not too long after we first moved in that courtroom.
Right.
And for people that may not understand what that saves is the fact in this particular case we had the GBI had outsourced DNA to a lab in Utah, rather than fly that lab technician or whoever processed it. That, let's say, the scientist out there. Over here, we were able to use Skype, and the lawyer was able to cross-examine her and that sort of thing. That saved a lot of money.
And the court costs are very expensive as well, right? The court, how's that work? Does the county, like last week in one of those child molestation cases, the victim came all the way back from Alaska. How's that paid for? Who did it? People have been asking those questions. I don't have the answers. Do you have the answers to those questions? Like, who pays that tab? Does the DA's office pick up that tab, or how's that work?
The citizens of Wayne County pick up that tab.
That's what I thought.
Us taxpayers do, but it's that's the way it's written. You got a different budget that deals with courts called a judicial administrative budget that usually pays the judges and juries, and I'm not sure if it may be clerk's office on juries. I'm not positive there. I just know that my sheriff's office budget, I have to pay my people that do security there. Then I know the bailiff's salaries come out of that particular budget.
Right. Another thing people ask all the time is jury duty when they don't show up. The judge always says, the DA will step up and say, Judge, I want you to go find that person. Tell us how that process works and what the fine is and what happens when you don't show up for jury duty.
Well, we don't have now. It's been a couple of years, maybe 3, that the state, we don't have a jury pool here anymore. The state does it. They do it based on driver's license, property, voter registry, a number of things. It's not just voter registry. People think, if I don't register to vote, I don't have to get called on jury duty. Well, that's not true. What happens is people have moved, people are deceased, and then we find that, quite frankly, we don't find that many that show up. But when we do, we notify the judge, and then they take whatever action they deem necessary. Now, I have seen Judge Lane a time or two bring all of them in. And I think he fined 2 or 3 of them like $250. But,
it's important to show for jury duty.
Well, it is. It's an important part of the judicial system. And a lot of them, and I know I hear the grumbling, and I don't blame them because you got to take off a day for work and all that. But those people that we get, they'll get there, and the jury get picked, and then they'll plea. But sometimes that's what makes them do that.
Yeah,
but sometimes Judge Scarlett won't accept that plea.
I've been lobbied for that several times on the Butch Bob show. If you're going to pick a jury, then you got to go to trial. They didn't change that, but they don't change that law. Like I said, sometimes that's frustrating. They go through that whole jury process, and then they get in there next morning and say, "Oh, we got a plea," so and everybody goes home. Again, Sheriff John Carter in the studio is with us. The election year is not too far down the road. People keep asking the question, is John running again? I keep telling them you are, that you tell me you are. So I'll let you do it publicly here on the World Famous Butch and Bob show.
I am. I intend to run again, and I hope the good people of Wayne County will see fit to give me an opportunity to continue to serve them. I've certainly been honored and privileged to do that. But I get asked about once a day, I heard you wasn't running. I said, you didn't hear from me.
Well, you can blame social media for that. We keep trying to tell everybody, you cannot believe everything that you see on the internet. Matter of fact, most of it. And when it comes to rumors and stuff like that, social media, I'm sure that you run into stuff like that all the time. Not only with you running or not running for re-election, but other things that come up with the department itself.
You see social media, and that's the trend today, is to try cases in the media instead of with the facts and and all the things that you should have to do it. But that's the time we're in. I'm technology challenged, as I previously mentioned, so
yeah,
I'm not a Facebook fan. I'm not a Facebook fan.
I don't even have one. So. And neither does Bob, but we just want to establish the fact that you are running for re-election. You will be up for, what term would this be if you get re-elected?
This will be my 4th term.
Okay, so by the end of that, it'll be 12 years you've been in. You're looking for more to continue to serve.
16 after this one. Yeah. I mean, if I get elected again, it will be.
Right. One other question I want to ask you, I get the court docket all the time. There's still a lot of murder cases haven't been coming through the process. I know they're working through those, but the thing that just stands out when I look at the court docket is the number of child molestation cases in Wayne County. I tell people there's like an epidemic. Like just the 30-page counters, there's 22 child molestation cases. They had 2 trials last week. What's going on with that? Is it just more kids are reporting it, or it just seems like there's just unheard of cases. I mean, like I said, 22 on the court docket is just unbelievable to me. So
well, you're right. I don't understand. I don't know if more reporting it, but it's like the drug problem. It's not just Wayne County. I mean, talking with other sheriffs and other police chiefs, they're having the same problems too that we're having. And I think there is some merit to the fact that it's getting reported more. And a lot of times it's, some of them are unfounded. A lot of it is custody battles, and they want to make the other side look bad. You see that a lot.
And that's just a shame to put the kids in the middle like that and bring up false charges against folks.
And that happens, unfortunately.
Well, Sheriff, it's always a pleasure to see you. Like I said, I'm glad we clarified that you are seeking re-election, so we'll put that out there for everybody to know.
Well, I appreciate that, and
It's always, I tell people, it's always one thing that does sometimes it just eliminates competition. I tell people all the time, if you're going to run, you need to tell people you're running. So
say it early and say it often.
Well, I've apparently got competition, but it's pretty much been on Facebook so far. I don't know. Maybe you need to.
I don't have Facebook, so I don't have any idea.
But I mean, that's the only place I've seen anything that anybody was going to run. But you know, that's why we live in this country. Anybody can run anytime they want to if they're qualified to do it.
There you go. Well, like I said, I'm just glad we clarified that. You know, it's because I don't know why, but people ask me all the time, is John running? I keep hearing John's not running. I said, well, John tells me he's running. They might have you. One tip I've got for you, though, if you're going to run for election, you just took over the sheriff of the Touchdown Club, so don't be handing out no heavy fines. Be cautious, some folks.
Yeah, I hate to.
So I just want to give you that little tip of advice. So don't be fining people.
Well, Kerry caught me at a weak moment, so I tell you.
So not only the sheriff of Wayne County, the sheriff of the Touchdown Club. See, you're looking forward to that, aren't you?
I am. Well, I've got some big shoes to fill, and certainly I don't have that dry humor and that quick wit that the bean counter's got, but I will enjoy it.
And that would be Bill Cheshire.
Bill Cheshire, yeah.
It's been very entertaining over the years.
He is. He's quick-witted, and I'm unfortunately I don't have that ability.
Okay, one of the things we've talked about different times you've been on the show, Sheriff John Carter, is personnel in terms of you're always seeking another position. Where do you stand right now in personnel? Where would you like to be?
Well, as you know, we're taking the 911 center over, so that makes it look like we've got a lot more people than we had, but which we do, but we don't have them on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Last year I got 2 positions. That's the first 2 we've gotten since 2003. We're requesting a few more. Of course, that'll be with the budget process. We want to certainly fill out the drug office, and I believe that the commissioners are on board with that. The city manager and then the city councilman are on board with the city's part of it. So I hope we can do our part.
Okay. So you'd like to see more deputies out there patrolling Wayne County?
Well, we would like to get to where we can do proactive patrol instead of just reactive. Right now, we're through November, for example, we've answered almost 18,000 calls, for service.
Isn't that amazing? I'm always floored by that when you come on the air. It's how many calls that y'all receive to go investigate something or go look into something.
Of course, in our case, that's $6,000 or $7,000. I mean, 6,000 or 7,000, not dollars, but more calls than the city of Jessup does. But then, we got a lot more people in unincorporated area of Wayne County than we used to. Matter of fact, one of my zones is bigger than the entire city of Jessup population-wise. Mm-hmm. The B zone is what we call it, and it's the busy zone too. B is appropriate.
B for busy zone. All right. Well, Sheriff John Carter, our special guest on the world famous Butch and Bob Show. Always pleasant to have you in here and informative to have you in here to talk about the Sheriff's Department here in Wayne County, John.
Be glad to come back anytime y'all want me.
All right. Thank you very much.
Have a good day.
All right. The world famous Butch and Bob Show brought to you by Mike Birch Ford in Black